Most of the IT professionals I talk with use English as their second language. That's why I have decided to ask my friend Celia, an English teacher, to help me and do a section to provide you with tips to improve your English. Hope you enjoy it.
Hello everybody, my name is Cecilia and I'm an English teacher. I'm originally from Argentina, but I lived in beautiful New Zealand for almost 4 years now. I've worked as a teacher for several years, but since 2020 I've been teaching online. Before I get started today, I'd like to thank Santiago for inviting me to participate in his channel. Thank you, Santi. It's an honor for me to take part in this channel that adds so much value to people's lives. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Because this is the first time you see me in this channel, I wanted to bring you something basic, something simple, but of great importance. And that is something I consider a must, and is how to talk about your job in English. Whether you are preparing for a job interview or, I don't know, a networking event, or you just want to be prepared in case someone asks you, it's a good idea to know what to say and to say it confidently. Now, I'm not saying that you should memorize anything or, I don't know, just write something and then try to memorize it. No, it doesn't work like that, but it's always a good idea to know what to say, because that will increase your confidence, and who doesn't want that, right? So how do you answer the question, what do you do? Well, you could start by saying, and let's have a look, I am a, and then your profession or your occupation. In my case, I could say, I'm a teacher. I work in online education, so I work in plus your field or area. I work for Language Nook, or I work for the name of a company, in my case Language Nook, that's my project. Or you could also use I work for to say I work for myself. Let's see another example. I'm a software engineer. I work in research informatics, or I work in the research and development department, so you can use I work in plus the department in which you're working. I work for Deloitte, the name of a company. And here is another example. You can say something like, I work as a software engineer for TradeMe. Now, what happens if you are not working? Because that's a possibility. Well, there are a few things you can say in that case. You can say something like this. I'm taking some time out to travel, to study, to figure out what to do next. So I'm taking some time out to fill in the blanks with whatever your situation is at the moment. If you're unemployed, of course you can say that, I'm unemployed, but if you want to avoid that word, you could say, I'm between jobs at the moment. And that sounds a lot more interesting, to me at least. And if you are over 60, 65 and you don't work anymore because you don't have to, you can say, I'm retired. I don't think that's your case. Well, usually that is not enough. It's a really brief answer, and usually you have to say something else. So if you want to give more details, what can you say? Well, let's have a look. You can use phrases like, I'm responsible for, like in my case, I'm responsible for planning lessons. And notice that after for, I need to use a verb with ing. Just a little bit of grammar there. I have to do the accounts and marketing. Most of my time is spent doing research about new teaching methods. Again, after this phrase, most of my time is spent plus ing. Let's have a look at another example. I'm responsible for delivering the functionality in time to meet the requirements. I have to write scalable, clean, and tested code. Most of my time is spent writing code. If you want to add something else, like how you feel about your job, you can use some adjectives. Of course, you can say my job is interesting or my job is boring, but you can use more interesting words, or at least less common words. If you don't like your job, you can say it's exhausting if it makes you feel very tired, or it's it's mind-numbing. Like, it's so boring, I can't bear it. You can also say, if you like your job, that it's very satisfying, or that it's rewarding, if it makes you feel that you're adding value to people's lives. Now, there's something else that you can say in case that you want to recap after a long description of your job, or you just want to give a one-line description of your job. And you can do that by using the word basically. So let's have a look. Here I have 2 examples. I'm an English teacher. Basically, I teach English to migrants who want to express themselves confidently in their own country. That's what I do. Let's have a look at another example. I'm a software engineer. Basically, I develop systems for other companies. Before I finish my idea, I wanted to show you a full example so that you can get inspired and use it as a model to talk about yourself. This is by no means a template or a rule to follow, it's just an example. I'm an English teacher. Basically, I teach English to migrants who want to express themselves confidently in their new country. I started my own online language school, so I'm self-employed. Then I talk a little bit about my tasks. I have to write lesson plans and materials for my students to use in class and on their own. I spend most of my time doing research about new teaching methods and innovating materials and ideas to use in class. I'm also responsible for doing the accounts, marketing, and maintaining the website. It can be challenging sometimes, but it's stimulating work because I have to do many different things every day, so I never get bored. It's also very creative and rewarding. Now, I would like you to do exactly the same, so I show you here the phrases that you can use, and I invite you to pause the video and try to give your own answers. Okay, as I said before, this is not a template. This is just some ideas that you can use to talk about your job, and there are definitely more things that you can say. But for today, I just wanted to keep it short, sweet and simple. And I hope you have found my contribution useful and that it has inspired you to freshen up your English skills. That was it for today. Until next time, I hope to see you soon. Bye!